Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to a very special live stream this evening. We are going to be discussing the 2020 NoDQ.com year-end awards. This is the first time that we will be talking about the categories and giving our thoughts in a live stream. We also have a 4-person panel tonight. Thank you to everybody that is tuning in, and I'm really looking for your guys's contributions. So as we go through each category, give us your thoughts, your picks, and I will place some of the comments up on the screen. Let me very quickly introduce the fellow panel members that will be discussing the categories. First up, he's been part of the team for a very long time now. He's done the year-end award videos with me every year, so you guys are used to hearing from him and me together. Good old JM Jeff Meacham. How you doing, my friend?
I'm just the old timer putting in my 2 cents. Don't mind. I said it on Twitter. I'm always happy to be part of the year-end awards. It's one of my favorite days of the year, and now we're doing it live, which is a rare. We did the Hall of Fame live too. This is a cool experience to do these things off the cuff with no real script, shall we say?
Absolutely. And let me throw it over to Big G. Big G, longtime No DQ viewer. This time, you get a chance to be part of the discussion, give your thoughts. Maybe you'll influence some people out there that are on the fence as to who to vote for in these polls. So how's it going, Big G?
I'm doing pretty good, getting the Christmas decorations put up in the house. We'll be decorating the tree here after the awards. I'm happy to be part of this. I've watched it since I can remember. Money talks. So if I can influence you, money talks.
Absolutely. Big Baller G. We'll see what he can do.
I like the shirt, by the way.
Right, thank you.
Talk Wrestling shirt. Where can we find it, Jeff?
Teespring.com/store/Jeff Meacham Network, along with this shirt.
JeffMeachamNetwork.com.
You can go do if you want. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. And we have the man who is dressed for the occasion, the best dressed man in this panel tonight. Noah Foster, the Simple Man. How's it going?
It's going very well. Hope you all are doing well. I'm looking forward to being part of this. Everyone's like it's the Tonys, the Oscars, the Grammys. I'm indifferent. All I care about is wrestling, simple. So this is definitely a great opportunity for me. I appreciate it, and I look forward to the discussion. So thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure, and thank you for taking it seriously and going all out for the occasion.
I already did there.
Maybe we'll be talking about All Out here. I'm sure we will be. Real quick, shout out to Y2 Woody. Happy birthday. Hope it's a fun one.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you for tuning in.
Have a great one.
And No DQ Virtue is in the house, so thank you for tuning in, Virtue. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to kick it off with the Male Superstar of the Year category. The nominees, we have Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Chris Jericho, and Adam Cole. Baby.
Baby!
That's right.
Who would like to go first on this with their pick? You're going to make your pick, and then the fans, the viewers, will get their chance to vote throughout the month of December. Who wants to go first? Anybody?
I'll take a crack at it.
Go ahead, Big G. You're up.
All right, so I looked through this list this afternoon, even like 20 minutes before, and all these men have had a tremendous year. So I thought about it. I think the most impactful person that's had a great 2020 is Randy Orton. He won the title a couple weeks ago and lost it, but I don't even think about that. I mean, he's had great matches with Edge. The feud with McIntyre was great. He's just been very, very awesome, especially during the whole Performance Center time. Just great there. Now in the Thunderdome, he's still doing great. He's a legend. So.
All right. Well, Noah Foster, Chris Jericho won the award last year. He won Male Superstar. What do you think about his chances, and who's your pick?
I think Chris Jericho still has a strong chance as he keeps redefining himself and, of course, keeping himself current with the business while putting forward the future. But my pick actually is my Ohio boy, I'm going with Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley has had an incredible year this year since really restarting himself since Double or Nothing last year. He's been across in JPW. He's been across AEW. He's been leading this company as their champion. And pretty much Darby Allin has literally been going to this guy for advice, literally taking Darby Allin under his wing. He's had incredible matches, promo work. I've enjoyed his stories. I feel like this has really been a triumphant year for Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, we want to call it. So my pick's Jon Moxley, and congrats to him and Renee on their soon-to-be first child. So
All right.
Jon Moxley is my pick.
Jeff Meacham, your thoughts?
Not going to say a whole lot because I'm trying to keep it short as requested. Bottom line, nobody had a more well-rounded overall 2020 than the man that Virtue himself dubbed the MVP of 2020 WWE, the Legend Killer, Randy Orton. Randy's not won this award since 2004. He's had some pretty good years between now and then. Yeah. And I dare say he's definitely earned his award this year. He's been the best overall competitor in the game in North America for sure. So I'll definitely go with Randy Orton for this year.
All right. Well, I really want to go with Roman Reigns because I think Roman Reigns is the hottest act in wrestling right now. However, he was gone for 5 months, and I do take that into consideration. So I look at from start to finish who had the strongest year. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton are definitely up there, but I'm going to agree with Noah Foster. I'm going with Jon Moxley. He won the title at Revolution. Hot crowd. AEW's last pay-per-view before the pandemic, and he's been the champion ever since. He's been there at the top of AEW. I think kayfabe-wise and just how much work he's put in, I got to go with Jon Moxley as the male superstar of the year. But I think all of them are worthy contenders. So keep in mind, Adam Cole had that NXT title for the first half of the year, including a defense at the NXT TakeOver Portland before the shutdown. And Virtue is like, this feels like a Meltzer show now. Well, let's see how the rest of these picks go before you start accusing us of being like Dave Meltzer. I have some interesting picks, Virtue. That's all I'm going to say. So let's move on here to the female superstar of the year. The nominees, Io Shirai, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Rhea Ripley. Jeff Meacham, how about we start on you with this one? And interestingly enough, Tessa Blanchard won this last year, but she really did not do much this year. So that's unfortunate. She was unable to get enough nominations to defend her win. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
Oh, she did plenty this year. That's why she's not on the list. Anyway. I'm going to go again with what I went with on the male superstar, the most well-rounded overall performer of 2020, Alexa Bliss. No, she didn't win championships. No, she didn't, win huge, mind-blowing matches or whatever. And no, she didn't break the Meltzer scale with her incredible, performances. But she breathed a huge breath of fresh air into what was becoming a stale Fiend / Firefly Funhouse presentation. She is the best part of that segment every single week. It doesn't help she's adorable as hell and pulls it off with that little, oh, I'm so cute and sweet. Oh wait, cross me and then I'll just drop you on your head. Just she's got that. She's got a great overall presentation. Now, I personally think the No DQ Galaxy is going to go with Sasha Banks because, as I've been saying all year, she's been the most consistent performer in the company since she returned from her hiatus last year. So I think the No DQ people will more likely vote Sasha. My personal pick is Alexa Bliss.
Well, for me, I'm torn between Sasha Banks and Bayley. The two of them, they have really carried the women's division in WWE since the pandemic began. They were at times on both shows every single week. Bayley held that championship, had that lengthy reign, but Sasha did win it at Hell in a Cell, and she was right there with Bayley. So I'm really torn between the two of them. I think I'm going to go with Sasha overall, though. The babyface overcoming her former best friend betraying her and all that stuff and having that feel-good story and now being the flagship of SmackDown. I am going with Sasha Banks, but it's very close for me, very close. Big G, what are your thoughts?
Man.
Sorry Shayna's not on here, by the way.
You know what? It's fine. I don't even think I put, when I did the nominations, I don't even think I put Shayna in there. That's how my interest and has dropped in Shayna. So hopefully 2021 will be a better year. Anyways, you made a good point, Aaron. You know, I'm torn between Bayley and Sasha Banks. I feel Io Shirai, she really hasn't did it. I mean, yeah, she won the NXT Women's title at NXT in Your House, but you know, ever since then, she really hasn't done much. Rhea Ripley, the same thing. I like Jess Point with Alexa Bliss. Asuka, yeah. And you pick Sasha Banks, but I'm gonna go with Bayley. You know, Bayley was in, 2020. She was still in her lengthy reign, like 380 some odd days. Yes, she did lose it to Sasha at Hell in a Cell, but she's had some great matches, and just the overall storyline between the two, I thought was tremendous. And like you said, ever since Becky and Charlotte left, they literally picked up the pieces and took the ball and ran with it.
All right,
So
Noah
Bayley's
Foster,
my choice.
We've had 3 different picks. Are you going to go for a 4th pick, or are you going to agree with one of us?
I was torn between 2 of them. I can't argue the war fabric that Bayley and Sasha put in, but I look at both of those women, and I feel like Bayley right now, who was the longest reigning Smackdown Women's Champion, is probably going to be the one that No DQ goes with. But you know me. I'm simple but different. I'm actually going with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley went into WrestleMania against Charlotte Flair, representing NXT as the NXT Women's Champion. And then she kept going forward despite losing, still picking up the pieces to keep the NXT Women's division going as a leader. I enjoyed the triple threat in Your House, and I really enjoyed the follow-up match between her and Io Shirai for the NXT title despite her losing. While she claims she's not going anywhere, she's going to stay in NXT, she's still a foundation of that entire division that some call the best women's division in the game today. Also, great matches with Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez. Rhea Ripley, I appreciate her brutality. I appreciate her overall. She is my pick.
All right, 4 different choices here. Virtue is like, no love for Asuka, absolutely nuts. I guess we know who Virtue's pick is. Maybe not. All right, we'll move on here to the finisher, or not the finisher of the year. Let me backtrack here. Tag team of the year. I'm jumping ahead. Tag team of the year. We have the Young Bucks, FTR, Kenny Omega and Adam Page. So quite a few AEW teams in the mix. From WWE, we have Street Profits, Bayley and Sasha Banks once again, and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura as the last team. So Noah, we'll start with you on this one. What are your thoughts? Are you going to go with an AEW team? Or are you going to maybe go with a WWE team, even though AEW has been known for tag team wrestling? Your thoughts?
Jeez. Okay, so I'm torn between 2 teams, a WWE team and an AEW team, okay? You got to appreciate the energy. You got to appreciate the ring work. You got to appreciate whatever they mean when they say, we want the smoke. Street Profits, I feel, is more of a personal pick among the No DQ Galaxy. But for me, I look at tag team wrestling, not necessarily just when you showed up, but what you stand for and what you did. They've been Smackdown, Raw, NXT, and they became AEW. My pick, keeping it simple, FTR.
All right, well, I am going to... All right, Virtue, I'm going the Meltzer route. I'm going with the Young Bucks because they have been on top in AEW. One of the best matches of the year, actually several of the best matches of the year involved them, including the Revolution tag match. And they've been together the entire year. A lot of these teams broke up after 6 months or whatever. Street Profits would be up there, though. However, I'm going with the Bucks on this one. I think they've proven themselves to be one of the biggest draws in AEW, and this has been a big year for them. I'm going with the Bucks. Jeff Meacham.
All right.
Somebody do a welfare check on Virtue, please. Thank you. Boy. This is why I didn't pick Bayley or Sasha for Female of the Year, because I'm picking them for Tag Team of the Year.
Okay.
Oh.
They were in a time where the Virtue said it himself, tag team wrestling is dead. On the male side of things in WWE, very much so. The tag team division on both brands, Raw and SmackDown, is atrocious right now.
Yeah.
And it has been all year.
Yeah.
Yes, AEW has had amazing tag matches, and I will be mentioning them later down the line here. Don't worry about that. But for me, Bayley and Sasha were the most entertaining. They had the best in-ring work. They got the job done every single time. It took them imploding them own themselves to break them up. So My pick's Bailey and Sasha all the way.
All right.
Nice.
Big G, we're having different picks again. Gonna
Uh,
go
no,
with something different?
I was really torn between,
I love
all
the
these
diversity.
teams. You guys made great points with each team, but I'm gonna go with my boys, the Street Profits. Yeah, their promos, their promos aren't all that great, but as a whole, I look at everything. Their entrance, they got an awesome entrance. I mean, every time I hear the entrance, I just start bobbing my head because I just like the theme song so much. Their in-work ability is amazing. I know people don't really, they dog on Angelo Dawkins, but the man's athletic. So is Montez Ford. Just everything together. They've had some great matches, especially against Cesaro and Nakamura. That one comes out. The one against New Day just recently. So I'm going with the Street Profits as
All
my
right.
team.
And
What's up,
last
Jeff?
year, oh wait, Jeff, real quick, Undisputed Era did win last year. They were not eligible this year, unfortunately, and they were not really doing much after the pandemic started, which sucks. But Jeff, go ahead.
I love how Virtue calls this a Meltzer show, and yet he's pointing out very Meltzer-like facts in his comments. So just throwing it out there.
Ooh, all right. Moving on, we have the finisher
everything.
of the year. Last year, Aleister Black's Black Mass was the winner, and it's actually won 2017, 2018, and 2019. Did not get enough nominations this year, which
He
really,
black masked himself this year.
which really goes
Yeah.
to show how poorly Aleister Black was booked in WWE this year. The fact that he's pretty much an afterthought now, which really sucks.
He's nominated later, though, so it's okay.
We got, for finisher of the year, Randy Orton's RKO, which seems to be in contention a lot, but doesn't win. Drew McIntyre's Claymore, which beat the Beast Brock Lesnar, among others. Jon Moxley's Paradigm Shift, which has won him countless matches as world champion. And Kenny Omega's One-Winged Angel. Keith Lee's Spirit Bomb. And Chris Jericho's Judas Effect. I'll go ahead and start with this one. I am going to go with the Claymore. The Claymore won Drew the championship, and it's the move of the top guy in WWE. And we haven't been seeing people kick out of it, although he hits them with 4 or 5 in order to beat them. But nonetheless, I'm going with the Claymore as the move of the year. Jeff Meacham, what are your thoughts?
We're going to agree this time. I love the ambiance of the Claymore. It's very Shawn Michaels 96-esque, where the fans, when they were there, would get up for it. They would count down, and Drew would kick their freaking head off. And it's a very impactful move. It's very, as Noah would say, very simple and to the point. Kick a guy in the head, he's going to go down more often than not. So, and it won him the WWE Championship more than once. So my choice is also Drew McIntyre's Claymore kick.
All right, Noah Foster.
I was torn between a couple of these. I mean, the Claymore has been that move, and honestly, it has been that finisher. But again, a couple people, they have kicked out of it. I figure about finisher, though. I figure about the impact. I figure about the believability. And for me, I look at overall, I really like the way they set up Keith Lee and how he sells his power bomb known as the Spirit Bomb. It's like the Spirit Bomb. It's like the power bomb of all power bombs, it seems. Once he slams you what you think through the match should be over at that point. If not that, Big Bang catastrophe, but that was a contention. I feel like for me, a power bomb should be set up as a finisher and it should be believable. I look at everyone's power bombs this year, and right now, Keith Lee's Spirit Bomb power bomb is the most believable one for me. So I went with that. I picked Keith Lee's Spirit Bomb.
All right. And Big G.
I don't know. I'm really torn, but I thought about it, and you guys made great points. The Claymore has been the finisher of the year. He has won 2 WWE titles. He beat Brock Lesnar. He's beaten countless other people with it. Hopefully, when the fans come back, they'll start doing the Claymore countdown again because it got the fans involved, which was awesome, especially at the Royal Rumble and whatnot, and even before that. So I'm gonna agree with Jeff and Aaron, the Claymore.
All right. We'll move on now to the announcer of the year. Last year, Mauro Ranallo won, and he is up for it even though he was not around for the entire year. We have several people from AEW. This is quite AEW heavy actually. Jim Ross, Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, Samoa Joe, Mauro Ranallo, and Taz. So Big G, we'll start with you on this one. Who is your announcer of the year?
I thought about it, and I'm going with the WWE guy. I'm going with Samoa Joe. He's done tremendous on commentary. I miss the guy in the ring, but he's been in the wrestling world for a long time. So him being on commentary, he knows what he's talking about. I like the fact that he almost kind of got into a feud with Seth Rollins, but then, they're like, well, he's not ready yet, so we're just going to pull that back until, a further date. So I'm picking Samoa Joe as the announcer of the year.
All right. Well, I am going with Mauro Ranallo, even though he was only around for half the year, because I still think he's the best announcer in wrestling. And, he was doing that fight last night with Mike Tyson, and he's still a world-class announcer, best in the business, in my opinion. And it sucks he's not around. I think the quality of NXT has been hurt a little bit from him being gone. So Ranallo is still my pick. As long as he's even doing a little bit of announcing in WWE, he'll always be my pick because I do think he's the best in the biz. Noah Foster, what do you think?
Superplex by Strong. You know I'm going with Maranello. That guy made you want to watch what was happening in the ring and listen to the commentary at the same time. Forever it will be Mauro Ranallo.
All right, Jeff Meacham.
So I get to follow that, right? Okay, thanks, Noah. Because I do agree with you. I think he's the best announcer, the best play-by-play announcer in combat sports, and I think that he, we all know he's a fellow bipolar rock and roller like I am. Like I get the struggle, so I'm not wanting to be dealing with the freaking drama of the guy in that chair at Gorilla every week. I totally understand. Okay, so. But he's a great announcer, and there's no denying that. I think my personal pick is Mauro. I do believe the No DQ Galaxy will either go with Joe or JR for sentimental reasons with JR.
All right. And now, all right, this one's a big one, guys. This one is going to have some debate, I'm sure, in the chat room. It's one of the top choices as far as categories go for people to debate and discuss. The match of the year. Here we go. Glasses off. Glasses off for this one because it's going to be a barn burner here. Okay.
I'm last again. I'll tell you that right now.
All right. Last year, the winner for match of the year was Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver New York. Now, we do have NXT represented in this. We have Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly versus Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne from NXT TakeOver Portland. We had Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus the Young Bucks from AEW Revolution, which I mentioned earlier. Undertaker versus AJ Styles Boneyard match from WrestleMania. So we have a cinematic match represented. We have the parking lot brawl from AEW Dynamite. Some people call it the greatest match to date in AEW Dynamite history. Best Friends versus Santana and Ortiz. Rated 5 stars by Dave Meltzer, I believe. And Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso from Clash of Champions, and I'm going to butcher the name, Walter versus
Ilya Dragunov.
Thank you, from the October 25th edition of NXT UK. That was a hell of a match. That was an amazing match. I did watch it.
Yes.
This is a really tough one, and everyone's going to have a different opinion. Maybe not. Let's see. Let's go around and see what everybody thinks. Jeff Meacham, we're going to go with you first.
I said I was going to let you suck. I have seniority. All right.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I'll go first. Okay. So I thought a lot about it, and I want to go with one that had a live crowd, which would narrow it down to two. I have to go with the tag match from Revolution. Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus the Young Bucks. I think it was one of, if not the best tag team matches of all time. Maybe the best one I've ever seen. Phenomenal tag team match between those guys, and why I picked the Bucks. Part of the reason why I picked the Bucks for tag team of the year. That match was unbelievable. That match alone, in my opinion, was worth the $50 for the pay-per-view. That match was just unbelievable. So I'm going with the tag match from Revolution. And, it's kind of unfair to some of the other matches that were part of the pandemic era. But, that one, I think you can go back and watch that. I think that one has the most replay value because you had the fans there and just because of the quality of it. So that's my pick. Noah Foster, you want to go next?
Ah, jeez. Okay, let me talk to you. First off, the match at Portland I would have picked is Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic. Just my personal opinion.
Okay.
Not my pick. It was a fun match. Kenny Omega, Anna Pierce, and Young Bucks encompassed everything about tag team wrestling and storytelling. It's practically impossible to compare that with another tag team match I've seen since 1992 being a fan of wrestling. Undertaker vs. AJ Styles, nice setup encompassing all of Undertaker's characters. It was a different dynamic you would not think you would see. If it wasn't for a pandemic, who knows what sort of match it would have been. I don't think it would have been a casket match or buried alive. Best Friends versus Santana Ortiz, Parking Lot Brawl. Yes, it was a really great match. I would not say match of the year. I saw Eddie Guerrero, John Cena. They had their match way back on Smackdown too. I got similar vibes from that match with this one, but this match was really good too. The thing about Walter and Ilya Dragunov is the fact that we're no people. You could feel every freaking shot these two were wailing into each other, and you saw the physical impact of it too as Ilya was gurgling blood. What a beautifully brutal finishing picture of Walter Darlene General retaining his NXT UK championship. But Aaron, you and I talked about earlier, I gotta agree with you. There's no match I can think of from quality, storytelling, and replay value that I could rewatch over and over again and not get sick of it. For me, it's the tag match at AEW Revolution. But NXT UK was a seriously close second.
Well, I think my close second would actually be Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso as far as the storytelling goes, and I think
Good story.
I think
Change
that's
was
Virtue's
unnecessary.
point in the chat room. All right, Big G, what do you think?
Yeah, all great matches. I like how Noah makes puts all this effort into it, and it just, he's made great points about each match. And yeah, they didn't have no crowd, but this is what made me a fan of wrestling. Walter versus Ilya Dragunov is my pick of match of the year. There's no fans, which made, I think, the match even better because you could hear the chops. I mean, front and back, and just
good lord,
the man. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just tremendous work from an Austrian and from a Russian. I mean, you put the two together, and it was just magic. I mean, and this close second for me would have been AEW Revolution.
All right,
So.
Nice, Jake. Nice.
Now it's on you, Jeff Meacham.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Lordy.
The best for last. Bring it.
So I did this category a solid, and I watched every match today. Like right before, I think I finished about 6 Eastern. So I went through and watched all 6 matches. I wanted to make sure I gave him a proper chance.
Yeah.
And asked my dad, who was like 10 feet away from me. The only match that he could hear me distinctly having the moment was the tag match from Revolution. I was dumbfounded because keep in mind, I had not watched that match yet. I don't think I watched it yet. I definitely didn't watch the Walter and Dragunov match. Both of those matches had me out of my chair, like repeatedly, just completely flabbergasted at the whole thing. But God, the Bucks and Omega and Page, it's Aaron and I have seen a lot of tag team matches in person and on pay-per-view and on TV. We've seen a lot of Young Bucks matches in person and on TV and on pay-per-view. These 4 guys just blew me away. I swear to God, I was completely overwhelmed with. I kept what the effing throughout the whole thing. Like, what the hell is this not over? And poor Rick Knox. We all love Rick Knox. Goodness sakes, he almost had a stroke during this refereeing this damn thing. So I agree with Aaron and with Noah that the tag match from Revolution was the best match of the year. And yes, the crowd definitely helped. I'm not going to lie. But overall, that's been my favorite Young Bucks match that I wasn't directly involved in. So,
all right. Now we'll move on to the pay-per-view of the year. We have the Royal Rumble, Revolution, WrestleMania 36, Double or Nothing, Hell in a Cell, and Full Gear. Now, I'll go ahead and start off with this one again. I'm also going with Revolution because it had the fans and that match, the tag match, plus the rest of the show, Jon Moxley winning the world title. To me, that was like the pay-per-view, maybe AEW's best pay-per-view to date. And, Double or Nothing was great as well, but of course we did not have the fans for that one. But that was still a very memorable pay-per-view. I do have to give the slight edge, and I think it's a little unfair because Revolution had a full crowd in Chicago, but that definitely helped. So the slight edge to push it over the top, the fans did it. I'm going with Revolution as my pick. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
I will say Full Gear, and I know there wasn't fans. I know that's been a huge contention point with all of us as far as whether they're important to the overall picture. I thought every match at Full Gear. I think did we do the review together, you and I, on this show?
I don't remember. We might have.
Pretty sure we did.
If we did,
I'm pretty sure we did, because I remember saying that every match on this show hit on the point it was supposed to hit on. It made me believe in Eddie Kingston as a contender, which shouldn't be a thing, I don't think, because Eddie's not a guy anymore. I love Eddie, but he's not that guy anymore. Max and Chris Jericho had a great match. The Elite Deletion was what it was. It kind of was there. The Bucks and FTR had an unbelievable tag team match. The only match that really was not like there for me was the AEW Women's Championship match, but Serena and Allison Kay more than made up for it on the pre-show. So I'm okay with that. So yeah, this pay-per-view for me was the best one I watched in 2020.
All right, Noah Foster.
And just like good old JM, I agree on all his points 100% because that pay-per-view was phenomenal. Every match delivered what it was supposed to bring. You got unique matches galore, great moments. It brought a little bit of everything. And at the end of the day, I was satisfied overall. I didn't figure about the length of the show. I just thought about, okay, how's this match going to be different? What can I expect to come out of this match? Am I going to be satisfied with the winner? Am I going to be wanting more? And it checked off all the boxes for me. And I was already brought in by the women on the buy-in where Allison Kay and Serena Deeb had a great match over the NWA Women's World Championship. And Jeff, I also agree with you that was better than the Karushita one, but that's just my opinion. Yeah. Love that pay-per-view overall. That was my favorite of the year. Full Gear.
Yeah. And by the way, Dominic, it's just a matter of the atmosphere. And I hate to go against the other pay-per-views because I think they were all great. And, WWE did the best they could with WrestleMania, and I think it was an A for effort. But I personally have a hard time replaying matches that don't have a crowd. So I still have to go with Revolution as mine. But Big G, what are your thoughts?
So you guys went all AEW. I'm going WWE. I'm going with the Royal Rumble 2020. Very interesting. I like the pay-per-view altogether. The Roman match between him and King Corbin was awesome. I liked it. You had Becky beat Asuka. Charlotte won the Women's Royal Rumble. Drew, he knocked out Brock Lesnar and then won the Royal Rumble. You had Edge come back. Nobody talked about Edge coming back. Everybody wanted to talk about AEW, but Edge returned. He did his spot. So I'm going with the Royal Rumble 2020 as pay-per-view of the year.
Well, gee, I'm wondering if people aren't focused on Edge so much because he got hurt so fast.
Yeah.
And he was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that feel-good moment.
I get you. I get you.
It was a beautiful moment. I'm not going to deny that. But what I'm saying is, the impact on the overall year 2020 wasn't there because he was gone by the second quarter of the year.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have the breakout star of the year. And last year's winner was Ricochet. So much for breaking out.
Man.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of breakout would be Ricochet's award for 2020?
Breakdown
2020.
Breakdown 2020.
Damn.
All right, so breakout star of 2020 hopefully will not be the breakdown star of 2021.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
We have...
Please,
oh,
Lord.
no. What have I done?
Please, Lord.
I'm sorry, WWE. Uh-oh.
NoDQ.exe has crashed. All right, let's get it together here. Breakout star of 2020, Karrion Kross, Darby Allin, Bianca Belair, Orange Cassidy, Keith Lee, and MJF. Noah, we'll start with you on this one.
This is a tough one for so many reasons. Darby Allin, I mean, he has been a main staple of AEW, not just this year, but literally last year. I feel like he actually broke out last year, and now he's finally beating Cody. Karrion Kross, not enough things I could say about Karrion Kross with his impact in NXT until he got injured. Damn it. Bianca Belair, she owns what she says she is. She is the EST of WWE. I gotta respect her game. Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, SmackDown. It's been a great year for her. Orange Cassidy, what the hell? Orange Cassidy. Keith Lee. Though Keith Lee has been that guy on WWE's radar since last year's Survivor Series, and it shows this year. I mean, he could be potentially challenging for the WWE Championship. And then you got MJF, everyone's favorite wrestler, who claims he's the best in the world, the best of all time, blah, blah, blah. With that being said, well, I am wearing this, but not because of that. Bottom line, though, my pick, I got to go with the limitless one. My pick is Keith Lee.
All right, well, I am going to agree with you, Noah. I am going to go with Keith Lee as well. Orange Cassidy is very close. Orange Cassidy would be my pick if it was just AEW. And I would have gone with Karrion Kross if he did not get hurt. Honestly, I think he had a red-hot couple of months there, and then he got hurt. I think 2021 is going to be Karrion Kross's year. So his breakout year is to come. Keith Lee, he got into the Royal Rumble, and he had a good showing there, and then he won the world title in NXT, became a double champion, and then he debuted on the main roster and was part of the winning team at Survivor Series. You know, big year for Keith Lee. Got to go with Keith Lee for this one. Jeff, what do you think? Meacham.
I think your audience is going to pick Keith Lee because Keith Lee is he is limitless. He's had an amazing year, but there's very few good points in the chat room. Keith Lee prior to call up was dominant.
Yes.
Since he's been called up, it's debatable. My personal pick for breakout star of 2020 is MJF. I think he's had a great year already this year, and there's more to come in 2021. I think he's going to really shock the world next year with what he does in AEW.
Well, see, that's the thing. To use your line, I still think his biggest year is yet to come. The problem with Keith Lee is just what you said, Jeff. Like, I wonder if he's at his peak now when he's going to be slowly on the way down. I just have that bad feeling.
Yeah, because he's had no peaks in the Indies and in NXT. He just kept going up, up, up. He went to Survivor Series last year and kicked everybody's ass except for Roman.
Came that close though.
And came that close to beating Roman. Let's not forget that. But he's definitely been on a downward slide this last few months. Now, Virtue made a good point. I'm gonna definitely bring up Virtue here because he definitely makes a point. Jey Uso should be a write-in candidate, I think. I think he's had an amazing breakout last few months here in 2020. Yeah. He went from a tag team that was pretty much dead and buried on, multiple DUI charges to being part of the hottest story on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do agree on that. Absolutely.
All right, Big G.
I'm going to go with you and Noah's pick, Keith Lee. He had a hell of a run, like you said, Survivor Series last year. Became North American champion, won NXT champion, went to the main roster. He beat Randy Orton in his first pay-per-view match. He did lose his music, but now he's got some new music with some lyrics, which is awesome. Which is not as great as the, original one, but, Anyways, Keith Lee is my pick. I think he'll have a tremendous the rest of 2020 and moving forward.
All right.
I think Vince sees a lot of potential in him. He likes his big guys.
I hope so. All right, now we move on to the catchphrase of the year. Now, normally Jeff reads off the nominees for this. Do you want to do it, Jeff?
Oh, God, no. I hate doing it every year. Are you kidding me? But I hate that there's only two of us because I'm the one stuck doing it.
Let me take a crack at
All right, you want to do it, Big G? Okay, by the way, you know who won last year, Big G?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, well, it's a little bit of the bubbly, so you got to do...
A little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly.
All right.
Which I'm going to buy for New Year's, by the way. I'm going to make it happen, damn it. Go ahead.
All right, so the first catchphrase is "Let me in" by Bray Wyatt. Then you got I'm the head of the table,
Mm.
Roman Reigns.
I like the pounding on the table.
Hold on.
Emphatic.
Hold on.
Nice touch.
Hold on.
We gotta get some more description.
It's you don't see the solo cup, but we want the smoke by the Street Profits. Then you got Ding Dong, hello, from Bailey. Then you got Bro. And then you got I'm Better Than You, and You Know It, by MJF.
All right.
Well done, brother. Well done.
All right.
The award show every year now.
All right, Big G, you want to just give your thoughts first?
Yeah,
Better him than
absolutely.
me.
They're all great catchphrases. Bray Wyatt let me in. You're like, no, I'm not letting you in. Bro is just tremendous. But we want the smoke. I love we want the smoke because you don't know what they're talking about. And you put the red solo cup in and they say, we want the smoke. I'm like, all right, I'll give you the smoke.
All right.
So,
I agree with you, Big G. I'm going with we want the smoke. Jeff?
Oh God. Okay, God, you guys are terrible. Okay, so let me in would have worked for me if it had been a 12-month period of consistency. Problem is, he had to go. He came up against Billy Boy early on. That just killed it for a long time.
Yeah.
Head of the table is what I think the No DQ audience will pick. My personal pick is I'm Better Than You and You Know It. I just love everything MJF does. So that's my personal pick. As far as Bro, okay, Matt Riddle is one of two people I cheered for against Goldberg. Goldberg so much. I wanted Goldberg to spear Matt through the freaking wall backstage. I can't stand Riddle. He's a pain in the ass. Go ahead.
Got it all out there, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm good now. Go ahead.
All right, Noah.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, let me in. Psychological warfare. Didn't really keep up with it. I'm the head of the table. Yeah, you're the tribal chief. Were you the tribal chief all year? No. Ding dong. Hello. You're annoying, but I'll admit you owned your phrase. We want the smoke. What the hell does that mean? But I'll give Montez Ford credit because it does hype me for every Street Profits match. And then, bro, it's simple. It's one word. It's just him being himself. But I'm better than you, and you know it. He owns that phrase. He believes it 110%, and no matter what you think of the guy, he makes you believe in him. I'm going with Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF.
Virtue thinks we want the smoke is one of the lamest catchphrases of the year. Here's the thing, though, Virtue. Because of the pandemic, we don't know if these catchphrases are really catching on. I'm guessing Roman's is, obviously, with the T-shirt sales, but Street Profits were doing We Want the Smoke when we still had fans, and the casuals ate it up. The fans in the arena, the kids. Virtue, you always talk about doing what's best to grow the casual audience, and that's what We Want the Smoke does. The casual fans, the kids, the adults, everybody likes to say it. So that's why it's my pick, because it caters to the casuals. There you go, Virtue. Checkmate.
I'm just a big Street Profits mark. There you go, Virtue.
Hey, be yourself, Big G.
Yep.
All right, now we move on to the faction of the year. We've had some good factions this year. I'm curious to see what everybody thinks. Undisputed Era won last year, and this year they're not eligible, unfortunately. And they were kind of disbanded a bit, and various things happened. But they're making a comeback now. They're not quite dead. However, they did not get nominated. I want to know how the Dark Order got nominated over Undisputed Era, though. I'm pissed about that.
But Anna J, Aaron Riff, Anna J.
Must be Anna J. So anyways, we got the Hurt Business, Jurassic Express, Team Taz, the Dark Order. What the hell? How did Undisputed Era not get on this list? What is wrong with people? Like, do not blame me. I go by what people send in for nominations.
This is my reaction to Retribution.
Toilet flush?
Oh, wait. Yeah, Big G, that's your reaction. Here's my reaction.
And Inner Circle is the last choice. I am going with the Hurt Business. I just think they're a cool faction, and we're seeing Shelton Benjamin make a comeback. We're seeing Cedric Alexander become relevant again. And MVP has been on fire as a mic guy, talking on the stick. He's been awesome. Bobby Lashley has finally become somebody relevant again in WWE. And, I just love the group. I actually like the music. I'm not a big fan of the Def Rebel group, but I do like the Hurt Business entrance theme. I like their demeanor and how they present themselves. So Hurt Business all the way. Noah Foster, go ahead.
I like you picked the Hurt Business because you're right. It reinvigorated Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and Cedric Alexander's careers. I mean, Shelton and Cedric, they could be tag champions. Jurassic Express, they appeal to the casuals. They are a huge favorite in AEW, but people still have blasphemy against them due to Marco's stunt. Team Taz, they're angry. They are big, strong men. And then you got a guy who literally owes his entrance and owes himself on the mic. The Dark Order, well, Anna Jay probably led that, but there are so many different dynamics to that. People, I think, have finally come around to it with the help of the Exalted One, Mr. Brody Lee. Retribution, what the hell is wrong with you people? Anyway.
Wait a minute, I wonder if T-Bar, not me, but that other T-Bar somehow got Mustafa Ali to hack the
Yeah, did you get hacked, Aaron?
system.
What the hell, man? Get some better security. You better not be using freaking McAfee antivirus. Good grief. Anyway. I could go on all night ranting about Retribution because they are not my pick. The Inner Circle is my pick. They have been a foundation of AEW, both in and out of the ring. Even when they couldn't wrestle, we've had fun skits with Jericho and Sammy with the Bubbly Bunch. And I figure about the matches we've had with them, including the Stadium Stampede. That's one of my favorite overall matches this year. And there's just so many different moving parts to it. And now with MJF and Wardlow involved, I wonder what changes are to come. And honestly, I'm just going to go with the Inner Circle, Le Champion's faction.
All right, Big G.
I'm going to go with the Hurt Business as well. Like you mentioned, I mean, Cedric has been rejuvenated. He's more relevant than Ricochet this year. Bobby Lashley, he's become this mean badass that we've wanted Lashley to come back when he did come back. Shelton Benjamin, his career is rejuvenated. MVP is doing just tremendous as a manager. He still wrestles, which is awesome. So Hurt Business is my pick, but I think the fans are going to go with the Inner Circle though.
All right, Jeff Meacham.
I think Big G hacked my script. I think the fans are going to pick the Inner Circle as well because, I mean, they've got Jericho, they've got Max, they've got Santana Ortiz, they've got Jake Hager, they've got Sammy, they've got everybody that's, really honestly been, a huge part of Dynamite and a huge part of pay-per-views as far as the entertainment factor and everything else. But my personal pick is the same as Aaron and Big G, the Hurt Business. The bottom line with the Hurt Business is MVP, who I also picked for comeback of the year, we'll get to that next, I believe, made Bobby Lashley a dominant force again and made Shelton Benjamin's comeback just that much more awesome. And as you mentioned, made Cedric Alexander relevant again, which I think, again, is a very vague term there. But those four guys are the standard bearer in factions on Monday nights. I know it's the pandemic era, and standard bearer is a low ball term these days. But these guys, I am entertained by their segments and their match quality every single Monday night.
All right,
that's fair.
Now we'll move on to the comeback of the year, as Jeff pointed out. Last year, Jon Moxley won it, and he continued into 2020. Looking at the comeback for this year, we have Roman Reigns, who took a pretty extended hiatus and then made a huge comeback. Bill Goldberg, Edge, MVP, Brody Lee, and FTR. I wanted to almost go with MVP because he's just been so awesome in his role, but I want to go with Edge because Edge had that amazing moment at the Royal Rumble coming back and the pop he got. Again, I take fans into consideration. I know Virtue doesn't do that, but the pop for Edge's return. Maybe somebody else would have pulled it off bigger if Brody Lee showed up on Dynamite and got this huge reaction. But, man, I got to go with Edge for this. Coming back and being in the greatest match ever, which did not get enough nominations to be in our poll. But Edge still came back, which was a truly epic moment in wrestling history. I'm going with Edge. Big Baller G, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm torn. I mean, Roman Reigns, like you said, he was gone for 5 months. He just came back during the summertime. I don't know what somebody was smoking when they put Goldberg in there.
He won the title, Universal title.
Edge MVP.
Don't encourage it. Stop it. Stop that right now.
Don't anger Jeff Meacham.
I'm torn between Edge and MVP. I mean, MVP came back at the Royal Rumble too, and we thought it was just a one-time thing, but then he started he was coming back on, and I'm just gonna go with my gut. I'm going with MVP as my pick. I mean, like I said in the last segment with the faction, he's just done tremendous stuff for everybody in the group. He's doing stuff for himself. So I'm going with MVP as the comeback of the year.
All right, now, Virtue said Edge if he did not get hurt, which is a valid point. Edge did get hurt. Yeah. But I like to put a lot of weight on that Royal Rumble appearance. Jeff, what do you think?
I agree with Virtue. If Edge had not gotten hurt after WrestleMania, he continued on his comeback path, I really think that he would have been my choice this year. I also gave heavy consideration to Roman because not only did he come back after hiatus, he came back and completely flipped the script. Yes, and he's done the last two months or so and just been the best he's ever been, in my opinion, personally. Yep. However, I look at comeback from a longer time ago than 5 months. MVP was written off as an afterthought. And as I mentioned during the faction thing, he's made Bobby Lashley a dominant force. His presence has made Shelton Benjamin's comeback that much better. And his presence has made Cedric Alexander relevant for the first time, really, on the main roster. So you factor all that in, MVP is my choice for comeback of the year. Hands down.
All right, Noah Foster.
Oh, man. I was torn between MVP and Roman based on the impact of their comeback. When I think of comeback, what do you look at? Do you look at the moment or do you look at the aftermath from the comeback? But again, going off what BG said earlier about Royal Rumble being his favorite pay-per-view, Aaron, you and I were in Canada last year, and I popped and nearly hit a higher octave in my voice when I heard Metalingus just as an appearance at SummerSlam. I nearly lost my Mountain Dew and my balance when he came back to the Royal Rumble. Just that moment when I thought he would never come back to in-ring action again, even if it was for just a moment in time. There was a moment where everybody just was in awe, gasp, got the pyro, Metalingus, celebration galore. I look at the comeback as the moment. So personally, for me, I think Edge would be my pick because I already voted for him. But I think people are going to go with what Jeff Meacham said because of his impact on so many others. I think the Dota guy is going to pick MVP, but Edge is my pick.
All right.
But Aaron, before we go on, let me give a shout out to Colin in the chat room for taking care of the band hammer since I'm not paying attention because I'm actually being presentation guy, so he's helping out a lot. So
thank you, Colin. I hope you're doing better, by the way. Glad to know you're working.
NoDQ.com/Colin for all of Colin's
Absolutely.
stuff.
Thank you very much, Colin.
All the flavor.
All right.
Some prime cuts.
We got the headline of the year. Now, last year was the launch of All Elite Wrestling. Very big change in the wrestling business. Headline of the year, we had a lot of things happening. It was an eventful year for sure in 2020.
That's saying something.
Yeah, the nominees, Edge returns at the Royal Rumble. Very big moment. And, when that happened, I'm like, there's not going to be a bigger news story than this. I thought that would be it. And then
you thought wrong.
I thought wrong.
You thought big time wrong. That was your first moment of the year.
That was, pretty much. That was, in fact, the first moment of the year. Because a little over a month later, WrestleMania 36 got moved to the Performance Center due to COVID-19. What? Who would have predicted that when Edge showed up at the Royal Rumble? Nobody saw that coming. Even when we were close to a shutdown, people were thinking, somehow WrestleMania will still take place at the stadium. There's no way WrestleMania is going to happen without fans. And
seriously, the biggest news in the world that weekend was Kobe Bryant's passing at the Royal Rumble weekend. All of a sudden, it hit the fan completely, like a month and a half later.
Right.
Yeah. And then we also have WWE releasing numerous wrestlers on April 15th. IRS
Black Friday
was one of them.
Black Tuesday, I think it was. It was a dark day for sure.
Yeah, released and furloughed. And then, of course, the Speaking Out movement was a huge scandal and led to a lot of people pretty much disappearing from the wrestling business. And then we had, which Virtue might go for, Roman Reigns' heel turn And any other year, this would, I think, no doubt be the winner, you know?
Yes.
It
Yeah,
would
yeah,
easily
absolutely.
be the winner. I mean, this is one of the biggest heel turns, you know, in many years, maybe even decades, maybe the biggest heel turn in wrestling since Hulk Hogan, dare I say. So huge deal. Roman turning heel, aligning with Paul Heyman. And then most recently, the WWE ban on the third-party platforms like Twitch and Cameo, which led to Zelina Vega being released and
Getting
all that.
released.
Now, I will say this. The third-party story could end up being a bigger deal. If more people leave the company and somehow if there's a union in the future, like this would be a very major story, but there's perhaps more chapters of this yet to be written. So I'm not going to go with that.
Paige is next to leave.
We'll see. Roman Reigns, you know, he's going to be doing a lot of big things in the business, but I think you have to go with the pandemic. I think you have to go with WrestleMania being moved to the Performance Center, and a lot of the other things that happened were, you know, fallout from the pandemic. You know, the wrestlers being released, and even Roman being gone and then coming back and turning heel. You know, he took that leave of absence because of COVID. Who knows if he would have even turned heel if there was no COVID? It's crazy. So I got to go with COVID. Jeff, go ahead.
I would say when you put this up in the poll, not just say WrestleMania gets moved, I would say the entire COVID shutdown period, because I mean, it's impacted every part of the business. WWE, AEW, the indies are friggin' dead because of this shit. So I would say the overall impact of COVID would be my little thing there on the poll choice. I actually went. I was thinking for the longest time I was going to go with the speaking out thing, because that got a lot of people thrown under that bus. A lot. But yeah, how can you go against the pandemic in 2020? It's impacted all of our lives. It's impacted the wrestling business. It's impacted everything we do daily. So there is no bigger headline in the world than this COVID-19 thing.
Yeah.
So I would say that's an easy choice when your fans get the poll that day.
All right, Big G.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys. You know, the whole WrestleMania 36 moves to the Performance Center. You know, you if you haven't yet, go back and watch the WWE 24 WrestleMania 36. I mean, you know, when you thought the world was going to come to a shit show, WWE pulled together and said, you know what? We're still having WrestleMania. This is something for the whole world to watch. You know, I think me and Noah, we did a watch party along with Stefan and everybody, like night 2 and night 1, you know, and that was cool to experience, you know, because WrestleMania.
Watch along.
Yeah. And it was a 2-hour show, you know, a 2-day show, and that had never been done in WrestleMania history. So it was something special. It brought the whole world together. It gave some people to do stuff when there wasn't really much to do when this whole COVID stuff started. So I think when people think about the year-end awards and the headline of the year, they're going to think about WrestleMania 36.
All right. Noah Foster, Simple Man.
Okay, so again, we've had a lot going on this year, and I get what you're saying about COVID-19 affecting WrestleMania, the biggest event of the year, but they somehow pulled it out together. As Jeff said, if this was just COVID-19 affects the entire wrestling industry, I would go with that. So I'm looking at these headlines that affect the entire industry. So for me, personally, I choose speaking out. Not only did that expose so much with what we love in wrestling as just downright wrong, toxic, and overall just needs a complete makeover if applicable. It affects a lot of people socially and mentally too, to the point people are shutting down social media, destroying memorabilia, and honestly didn't know what to trust or go to anymore. It makes you question yourself, like, should I be a fan of this? What should I believe anymore? Who's real? Who's fake? And in this business where there's already so much controversy, I feel like that was a huge wake-up call that this business needs to be reshaped. I feel the third-party thing is just developing. It could become something bigger. But at this point right now, I have to go with #speaking out. And I can only hope that the wrestling business as a whole will be better on the other side of it. Speaking out is my choice.
All right. Now we move on to the theme song of the year, which again, it's very subjective. Everybody's got their own opinion. Last year, Let Me In, Bray Wyatt won. This year, we have some different choices. Bray Wyatt did not get enough nominations this time, interestingly enough. We have Judas. Now, Jeff, do you want to do this one? Because you usually sing it. Or do a taunt.
I'm not got the backup. I'll sound terrible.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, Judas. You guys feel free to do hand gestures or something. Judas. Okay, nobody's doing it.
We're just gonna go along with it, all right? This is not karaoke. Someone pay in the chat, and then maybe one of us will do it. Get some money out of this, parents.
There you go.
All right.
Get some money out of this, and then maybe one of us will actually do something.
Okay.
Pay up, folks.
Gallantry. Drew McIntyre.
Can't sing that one.
No.
Unscripted Violence. John Moxley.
Can't sing that one.
Sky's the Limit. Snoop Dogg remix.
I am not doing that one on the air again.
So fresh, y'all. The Rising. Seth Rollins.
Can't sing that one.
And Dead Silence. Karrion Kross.
If I had hot fun, I might.
I'm not singing unless you get the money. I'm not singing, all right? I don't do stuff for free.
All right.
December free
Anyway.
good enough. The Joker taught us that back in 2008.
Daggone right.
I'll tell you what, anybody sends a $10 super chat, we'll all sing Judas together on video. How about that?
Oh, God. No.
I will do that. Yes.
All right, fine. I'll
I
do
gotta
it.
look up the lyrics.
Oh, come on. You should
I
know
know the
by
lyrics.
We're
heart.
just
I
going to
know
do
the
the
lyrics.
chorus.
Yeah, that's the easy part.
Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and move through this one. I'm going with Judas because it's pretty much epic as far as Chris Jericho coming out and everybody singing along, and you know it's iconic. It's become an iconic theme song.
All in favor of Judas, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, damn
Wait.
it. Darn it, no.
Noah Foster, maybe a different opinion?
Well, I mean, Judas is a Fozzy hit, Billboard Top 10. I get it. Everyone loves singing along to it, but I figure about also Afime's impact. And again, he wrote this song, but Jeff Meacham, you made Scarlett Bordeaux the freaking cover girl of what forum we once had, all right? There's something about that Fall and Pray song that really gets me, and the ambience behind the entrance, too, where it just kicks in from one gear to the next, and all out just like Armageddon arrived to the ring. So, personally, for me, I picked Dead Silent, but I feel like everybody's going to pick Judas because everybody knows, if nothing else, the chorus. And you darn sure sing along to it when it's on AEW.
Right. By the way, as of right now, there is the playlist on Spotify in the chat room for these 6 songs. There you go.
Okay,
Look at that,
well, 2 people sent in $10 super chats. Nick Lavin with a $14 super chat says sing, and Mike Nixon with a $10 super chat says here you go. All right, so everybody follow along.
You guys!
1,
Fuck!
2, 3, 4. What have I become?
God.
Now that I've
betrayed
everything I've ever loved and pushed it all away. And I have been a slave to the Judas in my mind. Is there something left to say in the darkness of my mind? My mind.
My life.
I become. Come on, Big G. Everybody together. Judas in my mind.
And that's never happening again. Heck no.
If we get like over 5,000 hits, I would be amazed.
Aaron,
The hell with that. We just got thumbs down by everybody.
the problem with karaoke over Skype is that we're all such a lag from each other. There's no sync. It's like if you're sitting right here, it's easier. So
Yeah, I mean, there's like, and there's 4 different speeds it feels like too. So there you go, folks. You're welcome.
technical difficulties.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you, Mike Nixon, who sent in the $10, and then Nick Lavin with the $14 super chat. Thank you guys for that.
I haven't sung since 8th grade. Good grief.
I do sing that song every time it does come on, though. So
Okay, I'll admit to that.
So to Chris Jericho, I'm sorry. I am so sorry, but
oh my
I'm
god, we
so
butchered this
sorry.
song.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the audience, they are off sync too, and Sammy's like da 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 da. He don't know the lyrics at all. So anyway, and he probably still don't.
I just can't sync up with people over Skype. That's my only problem.
Oh, I agree, Jeff. I agree 100%. Hey, next time if we ever come together and we go to AEW together, we'll get right.
Yes. If just belted out. So
I don't know, guys. I thought we kind of sounded like the Beatles a little bit. We got to have a little bit more self-confidence in ourselves.
What are you smoking?
What the hell, dude? Aaron, are you straight edge with me or not still, bro? What you saying?
Aaron, Paul McCartney shames you. Shame.
All right. Let's move on here.
We've gone off the rails.
He's
Good
hot.
Lord.
Care, but yeah. But
All right.
Oh, God.
Babyface
Spirit
of the
Paul.
year. Next category, Babyface of the year. Last year's winner was Kenny Omega. He did not get on this time for the poll. We have Jon Moxley, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Otis, Sasha Banks, and Jeff Hardy. Big G, let's start with you on this one. Who do you think is the biggest babyface of 2020? Go.
Oh, we're getting destroyed in the chat.
I'm torn between John, Drew, and Cody. Each of them had great years. I'm not going to worry about Otis because Otis just fell off the rails. Sasha just recently became face again. And Jeff Hardy, Jeff Hardy is Jeff Hardy.
What did that
I don't know.
Jeff Hardy, just Jeff Hardy. He's just there.
Jeff Hardy. People love him no matter what.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go with Jon Moxley. I think he's done tremendous in this past year, like you guys mentioned in the previous award sections. I like his music. He's a badass. So Jon Moxley is my pick.
All right, Noah Foster.
Okay, so I'm a little turned on this. I already voted Jon Moxley as my male superstar of the year,
Right.
so I'm not going to vote for him because when you call him a babyface, I mean, he does his own thing. Drew McIntyre, he's always been the guy that the fans have been behind. He got his big moment when no one was there, though, and he got his big moment again with, virtual people. But he's still the guy that we support in WWE overall, at least on the Raw side. He might be the biggest babyface in the company. And then Cody always seems to have this slow delivery that the fans can really get into when it comes to his promo work. And you thought one moment he was going to turn heel when he went with the black hair to go to a more aggressive style against Miss Brody in the dog car match. Then went back emotional. Thank you to the fans that saw him win back the TNT title. Something in me right now, looking at this list, feels like Cody's going to be everyone's pick. And that's mine. I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes. I think he's been a slow burn, but somebody that people can get behind, babyface for the year. My pick is Cody Rhodes.
All right. Jeff Meacham.
First of all, Aaron, you're the Beatles expert. I got Curtis and Adrian saying that John Lennon and Yoko are rolling in their graves. Weren't they buried together? Wouldn't that be hard to roll together?
Yoko Ono is still alive.
No, she's not.
Wait, she's not?
Before she died. No?
Now I'm confused.
I'm pretty
Oh
well.
my
Either
God.
way, I thought she arranged to be buried with John once she went. That's a tough role with two people in the same. That's a pain in the ass.
Right?
I think they
Anyway,
lay them on top of each other.
exactly. But it's no a room. Well, I mean, I guess you could whatever. Anyway,
Yoko Ono is still alive. She's 87 years old, but she's still alive.
Oh, okay. Well, bloop.
Okay. Well, obviously there was a wrong headline earlier this year. Anyway,
Jeez,
Anyway.
Jeff, you're spending too much time on Twitter.
I didn't say Twitter. I said there was a wrong headline. I didn't say where I read the headline.
Google.
Okay.
Probably Google.
Google. Okay, so where are we on again? Oh yeah, babyface. I think Drew McIntyre's been the solid babyface. You mentioned Cody, Noah, but Cody's been kind of like wavering. He's been cocky. He's been kind of full of himself here in recent defenses before he lost to Darby, and Arn's been very sounding on him on it quite a bit. So I think the best quote unquote pure babyface is definitely Drew McIntyre this year. He slayed the beast. He stood up for the legends. He stood against the legend killer. He's been the guy that's been a babyface through and through throughout the entire year. So he's my
I'm
choice.
changing my pick to Drew McIntyre. You guys.
You haven't even heard my opinion yet, Big G.
Huh?
You haven't even heard my opinion yet.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm going with Drew
Jeez, Big
McIntyre.
G, how about jumping the gun? Oh, wait, Aaron, you said Drew McIntyre?
Yeah, I'm going with Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
Anyways,
All right, the Arn Anderson stuff actually does make sense because I do see that cockiness.
Yeah.
Jeff, you want me to? We're unanimous. Drew McIntyre.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cody has been great when he's been acting like a babyface, but it seems like he goes back and forth a lot, kind of doing that tweener
Yeah.
role. I got to go with Drew. Won the Royal Rumble and had that heartbreaking moment with not being able to win the title in front of a crowd. And to me, that really put him over to the next level because you wanted to root for him even more because of what happened, and you just felt bad for him. And he's held the company up. He's been the guy that's been representing WWE during a dark period with the pandemic. So yeah, I go with Drew, and I think that's a pretty easy pick there. And John Moxley's up there too. But yeah, I gotta go with Drew. All right, so heel. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
I don't know if Mox is a pure babyface though, because he kind of just kind of does his own thing, and he's crazy.
Yeah, he's just his own thing. That's why I didn't consider him a babyface, but still my overall performer.
All right, so we have heel of the year, and last year we had for heel of the year Chris Jericho, and he is up for the award once again this year. It's Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, MJF, Randy Orton, and Bayley. So pretty solid list here. TJS sent in a $5 super chat earlier. He said, if Roman Reigns turns face after this run, does that retroactively ruin his heel run? I'm worried that crowds will cheer and chant, thank you, Vince. I don't think he should turn face anytime soon. I definitely think he should keep his head of the table character when fans are back. He needs to stay heel for a couple of years. And yeah, if he turns back in 6 months, then yeah, I would agree with that, TJS. But
it'll be shot. Yeah.
Speaking of Reigns, Bayley's been doing great. I've loved her work. Randy Orton has been great. MGF has been great. Rollins has been great. All of them have done fantastic. Jericho, but got to go with Reigns. Best character in the business right now, in my opinion. Pure fire with this heel run so far, and there's still more to come. But from what we've seen already, it's Roman Reigns. And I think it's strongly Roman Reigns. So, Jeff, what do you think?
I do agree. My own personal choice is MJF because he's just an asshole. He's a terrible human being as a character, but we all love Max. But yeah, Roman as the only guy on this list. I'm just looking here. The only person on this list, I should say, that has not at any time wavered as far as been like a goofy heel or a ha-ha moment. Roman has been in there and just stone cold serious. He's been like, yeah, I'm the guy. I'm the chief. I'm the head of the table. You will listen to me. You will do as I say. And you look in his face and you go, dude, he's going to punch me in the mouth if I say anything.
Yeah.
Like Roman Reigns like this. It's so funny. We all sat at you guys were at No Mercy. I was up in Hollywood waiting for the podcast thing to start. We all wanted it then because just Roman was just so serious against John. John was being goofy and just, doing the whole thing. And Roman was just like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And he beat his ass. It was great, but he didn't turn. And he's turned now, and it's so much better. And with or without Paul, I think he's doing a great job. So he's definitely, Aaron said it best, the best character in the business right now.
All right, Noah Foster.
That and so much more. Bayley has had great work. Randy Orton has had some goofy moments as a heel, especially talking about the punt. MJF, he's just pure a-hole all the time. Seth Rollins, he's had that launch-in feud with Mysterio, but he's had his moments too. Again, congrats to you and Becky. Have fun with your time off. Chris Jericho, he's being more in favoritism with the fans. So is he really a heel? You be the judge. But when it comes to heel right now, he owns it to the point that nobody can say anything over him. Not even Paul Heyman. It's Roman Reigns. Simple as that.
Big G.
I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. I mean, I've loved since the time he came back up until now, tremendous work. The promo that he cut this past Friday was amazing, saying he's not a locker room, B word and ain't getting any of that Thanksgiving leftovers. He's just on tremendous. Like Jeff said, we wanted that heel turn back at No Mercy a couple years ago with John, but we never got it. And we never got it with John Cena, heel turn. So I think when fans do come back, will they cheer him? Will they boo him? We don't know. So I'm Roman Reigns, heel of the year, in my opinion.
All right. And we have a $5 super chat from TJS.
Why are you reading this? Why are you reading this? I'm serious.
Well, He sent in the super chat, so I will read it.
Oh.
He says, all right, it's time to call out NoDQ.com for what they are. Clickbait creeps that objectify women. It's consistent, ridiculous behavior. Thank you for that, TJS.
Here's the one F-bomb allowed. Here's the one I'm only on one every show, right, Aaron? You always tell me I'm on one F-bomb. Tyler, go fuck yourself, for real.
Whoa!
Anyway.
I mean, at least TJS will talk to you face to face. Let's just say that. Moving on here, we have the feud of the year, and this is an interesting one too. I'm curious to see what everybody thinks. Last year's feud of the year. Yeah, thank you for that. Last year's feud of the year was Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, baby.
Okay.
All right, so this year's feud of the year, we have Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy, Bayley versus Sasha Banks, Edge versus Randy Orton, Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio, the whole Mysterio family. So yeah, a lot of interesting choices here. Big G, let's start with you. What are your thoughts?
Oh, so my thoughts is what you want, correct? No, kidding. I'm gonna, such great feuds. I mean, the Seth Rollins and Mysterio feud was good for like the first couple months, but then they stretched it out literally up until like 2 weeks ago. Edge and Orton, I like that feud as well, but I think when Edge comes back, I think there'll be one match left, so I don't think this feud is over with. Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy, whatever. The other two feuds were okay as well. But the one that I'm going with that I'm most invested in is Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. This made Jey Uso a single superstar. Clash of Champions. It made me want to jump out of my seat into the screen and like cover Jey and say, no more, Roman. You're not hitting him anymore. Just like Jimmy did. It just made me that much invested. And now that, and the Hell in a Cell match was great as well. They only had those two matches, and it made me more invested in SmackDown than I had been like the past year. And now Jey Uso, now he's part of the, doing Roman's bidding. But I think later down the road, we'll get one more Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso match. So Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, feud of the year for me.
And I agree with you, Big G. They're all pretty solid. They've all had some moments. I think maybe Rollins and Mysterio went on too long. Edge versus Orton. The WrestleMania match I thought was a little disappointing. Bayley versus Sasha Banks was great and probably my runner-up, although Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy had a hell of a feud. And Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, good feud, but not my favorite. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, the storytelling with that. The Clash of Champions match. And, I feel bad for not picking that as match of the year, but story-wise, I loved that match. Hell in a Cell was great, and I love what they're doing with those two. So, got to go with Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. Noah Foster?
You guys make compelling points. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, such a great feud. It just seems like it's over now. It seems like a short-term feud. Now they're both, kind of on the same side. Jey Uso's trying to prove something right to Roman Reigns. Besides, doing his bidding. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, it went on for a little long, 3 months. The way it kind of ended out, it was a little odd, but both these guys put up some really great matches. Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy brought out some unique segments. It more so, I feel like, was more like character showcasing. And then, of course, you had the oddball matches with the end of the Mimosa Mayhem. That was pretty funny. But I think Big G summed up that feud in one word perfectly. Whatever. Bayley versus Sasha Banks. It was the rematch we've been waiting for since NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Super slow burn to it, but it was a really great match again at Hell in the Cell, and I feel like the Cell made sense here considering Sasha Banks' record with it. Edge versus Orton could have done more with it. I felt the Backlash, greatest, blah 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 blah, didn't live up to the hype. Still a good match. But Seven Rey Mysterio, I look at not only the matches they had one-on-one, but I look at the fault of it too. I mean, Dominic Mysterio came into the mix. Seth Rollins feuded with him for a while. And as you said, the feud seems like it finally ended. But it went for the entire Mysterio family, it seemed, affected them too. And it even affected who Seth Rollins was basically trying to manipulate on his own game. There was a lot of different dynamics and branches, per se, that came out of Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. So based off that, I'm going to say Seth Rollins versus Mysterio, but I think the No DQ Galaxy is definitely going to pick Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in the short amount of time that it has given so much character development to both Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. But for me, it's Seth versus Rey.
All right, Jeff Meacham.
Now that I've calmed down a little bit, Seth versus Rey would have been my pick the first half of the year, but it just went on and on and on and on. And I get that it had a lot of good branch off points for different things, and that's fine. But the most personal feud for me, honestly, was Roman versus Jey Uso. And that's what a feud is supposed to be, a personal vendetta type thing. Like a feud is supposed to be something that carries on and has personal, deep impact on the participants. Jey Uso not only was elevated to the spotlight of the main event, but he also had to deal with his cousin completely coming down on him and putting him in his place, quote unquote. So I feel the best feud of this year, even though it happened late in the game, was Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso.
All right. And we do have a $2 super chat from our moderator, the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. He says,
Hey, Colin.
Noah, can you do the New Day deal one time for Virtue?
There's a good super chat. I like that super chat.
Wait, what?
What's the New Day deal? Like the introduction from Big E, maybe?
Jeez, that right now or when?
No DQ Galaxy!
All right.
Don't you...
Oh, no DQ Galaxy! Don't you dare be sour! Clap for this world famous awards panelists and feel the power! All right.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
It's no.
I'm not moving my hips.
Not going to be jiving for us.
You get another super chat and maybe.
Whoa!
Oh my god.
Shucky ducky,
Don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. I didn't put them out. Don't hold me to that.
All right. Where were we now? Okay, are we done with that category?
Yes, feud. Overall, it's Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, I believe. But again, Seth versus Rey, it had moments. Moving on.
All right. Now we go down to the worst categories. We have worst superstar of the year. Last year was Cain Velasquez, and he disappeared, thankfully, so he's not up for the award. We have Lana, Nia Jax, Otis, Bill Goldberg, Braun Strowman, and Brandy Rhodes.
Brandy?
Yeah, Jeff Meacham, let's start with you.
Oh, well, golly. I have a very bad feeling that the No DQ Galaxy is going to pick Alana, which I feel is very unjustly deserved, in my opinion. The fact that she was nominated is very interesting to me because it's not her fault she's been put through the paces, so to speak. The worst superstar the last few years, personally, in my opinion, has been Nia Jax, and she definitely earns it this year.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Goldberg.
Okay. If you want a superstar to win any category in an entire year, you have to be around past Mania.
Yeah, but he pretty much cut off the Fiend's momentum. That's significant.
Going again?
Okay. All right. Well said.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to go with Bill Goldberg. So there you go.
God.
Because that Super Showdown was like the worst angle, in my opinion, to kill off the Fiend's momentum. We're not all of us, but Noah and I were there at SummerSlam, and the presence that the Fiend had, and for Billy Boy, Whisker Biscuit to come in and just wipe that out for no reason, to be fed to Roman Reigns, who doesn't even show up for WrestleMania. Yeah, Bill Goldberg is my pick.
Damn.
Noah Foster,
trying to be nice.
glasses
okay,
off.
Okay, fine. I'll pick Goldberg, whatever.
Oh, all right then.
Oh my god.
Noah Foster?
Oh, wait. Oh, it's me? I'm sorry.
It's you.
Peer pressure's terrible.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Whisker Biscuit, he ripped my mouth apart when I saw he won the title, and I went, what the fuck? Out of my mouth. Braun Strowman, he's been guilty of poor booking. I mean, he had his moment. He was up on a high, then he went down a low, then he crashed and burned, especially when Roman came back. But Roman rightfully deserves to be champion. Brandy, get off Brandy's back, people. It's not like she's actually done anything to make herself women's champion. I don't even know why she's in this. Lana, okay, I get it. You don't think Lana deserves the spot showcasing that she's getting. You don't think Lana deserves the booking. Not her fault. And she's making the most of it, and whether you like it or not, and I ended up doing another different bet that you all will never learn about for it, she did win for the Raw Survivor Series team. But overall, and by the way, Otis, it's not Otis's fault what happened to him. And Money in the Bank, despite him winning, yeah, no one wanted that, but it is what it is. Yeah, we're Superstar, and I'll just keep doing this every year as long as it's part of the category. It's Nia Jax.
All right.
See?
You want to change your pick, Jeff?
No, I'm tired of changing my pick. Just move on. Go ahead, Big
All
G.
right, Big G.
Yeah, I'm going with Nia Jax. Just for the fact that she has dragged Shayna Baszler down with her.
Boom! There it is.
Yes.
I knew he was going to say that. Yep.
Good point. All right. So were we done, Jeff? Did
Mic drop.
Mic drop? Big G, he blew in your ear, or you're still sticking with Goldberg?
Oh my God, Adrian, damn it. I will stick with Goldberg just because I despise him that much. Yeah.
Right.
I thought, okay.
And
I think with
Adrian-
these worst categories, we'll get through faster.
Yeah. Adrian says you can't blame Bill. Vince books it, and Adrian's right. Like, we're not knocking the actual performers or the people. We're just
It's
talking
the
about the TV
Booking,
characters,
people.
and they suck.
Booking. Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm knocking the person for the record.
All right, fair enough. The
Ladies and
views
gentlemen,
of Jeff
real
Meacham,
honesty with Jeff Meacham.
the views of Jeff Meacham do not reflect those of the rest of the No DQ panel necessarily.
Hang on. For it. Yeah, there.
Oh shit.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
Okay, there. Yeah, Goldberg has been a POS as long as he's been in the business, so yeah, he can just go F himself for all I care. He'll be the worst every year for me.
Who's more on your shit list, Goldberg or TJS? You better turn the hat around again.
Right at this moment, Tyler.
Damn.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh God, look at freaking. Oh Lord.
This feels like an award show. Oh my God.
Yeah, you got the best and the worst, and you got real honesty.
Man, seriously, Colin's right. Ghetto Jeff is out. He done. Dude.
Good old JM, folks. He has arrived.
Old JM done took a seat over there at the dinner table. Mean old nasty truthful JM is right here.
Oh God.
All right.
All right,
next
we're back,
category
ladies and
here.
gentlemen. We got the worst match of the year. This should be fun.
No.
All right. Now, what was? Let's see what the worst one last year was. Worst match of the year last year: Goldberg versus Undertaker from the Super Showdown. And this year we have Bill Goldberg versus The Fiend at Super Showdown 2020.
Hey.
Also from Super Showdown 2020, we have Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet, which was the beginning of the end for Ricochet when he went from the breakout to the breakdown superstar.
In this category, everything's over. That's it. It's over.
We have the 2020 Money in the Bank match where Seth Rollins, well, not Seth Rollins, who was thrown off. It was, I think it was Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black, pretty much Aleister Black's career thrown off the roof by King Corbin.
I brought up the building.
The Impact Wrestling Knockouts Gauntlet match from Slammiversary. This is the first time Impact has been represented this entire evening. And Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman Swamp Fight from Extreme Rules the Horror Show. I would agree that was the worst cinematic match in my opinion.
And keyword cinematic.
AEW got on a worst category. Stop the presses, everybody. There you go, Virtue. We're not total Dave Meltzers here. Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara from All Out made the list.
Oh.
All right. Noah Foster, you're first. Go ahead.
Let me talk to you. I get it. Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara. Bad botch. The match should not have continued. Horrible idea on their part, many people say. Really, it will be the ultimate black note to that show. That's why people will probably not go back and watch AEW All Out in full. But that's not my pick. First of the matches, yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on here with Braun Strowman being drowned, the water turning red, Fiend don't even pop up, just bubbly, and not the good type of bubbly like Chris Jericho stuff. Impact Wrestling Gauntlets match, Kylie Ray won it. I mean, it could have been better, but it is what it is. It was like Impact Wrestling trying to rebrand itself, and their Knockouts division nowadays, not that bad. 2020 Money in the Bank ladder match, I mean, heck, it was through a corporate building, and the case was dropped in Oz's hands. Asuka won, but we saw what it led to. Interesting moment. And then you got Brock Lesnar and Ricochet, where at least Ricochet's match with Brock Lesnar was longer than Kofi Kingston, where he got destroyed in 8 seconds. But hey, Kofi's still over, so I guess that's a difference. So, again, it ripped my jaw apart one day ahead from surgery. It ruined the Fiend. And JM, I'm with you on this bandwagon. The worst match of the year, The Fiend versus Bill Goldberg. Country redacted. 2020.
Yeah, I agree with you, Noah. I'm going with Goldberg versus The Fiend. No question about it. And here's where, even with the fans, this still sucked. I actually will give a pass to some of the bad stuff because of the pandemic. So this is where the pandemic actually works in favor of some of these matches that were not well received, because WWE had to think outside the box. With Money in the Bank, they were trying something different. Didn't really work out, I think, as a lot of people were hoping, but they tried to do something different under the circumstances. And Swamp Fight, same thing. People were asking in the chat room, how is Eye for an Eye not on here? Well, first of all, it did not get enough nominations. And second, it was actually a good match. And I thought that they did a very good job with the stipulation. As ridiculous as it was, the concept, I actually thought that they made the best match possible out of it. Like, I thought it was a pretty solid match other than the whole absurdity of the stipulation. But, Big G, what do you think?
I think I was the only person who put Eye for an Eye match in that nomination.
You might have been.
Um,
Maybe a few people did, but it didn't get
I'm
enough.
I'm gonna go with you guys. The Fiend versus Goldberg. The Fiend was high on momentum, and yeah, the Fiend as a character didn't really need the title, but at that point he did. And with Goldberg winning it within like a couple minutes or whatever it was, just completely ruined his mystique, everything about the Fiend, and now the Fiend is pretty much rebuilding himself with Alexa Bliss. So there we go. JM, do you agree?
Turn your hat if needed.
No, it's okay. I'll be a good boy. The only thing that came close to eclipsing Fiend versus Bill was Matt Hardy and Guevara for personal reasons because of the concussion thing. That really got me wound up. And people that watched my show the next day or whatever it was, I was not a happy camper at all if that match continued. So that almost did it for me. But the Goldberg versus Fiend match at the Super Showdown completely ruined the Fiend until he got reinvigorated with the addition of Alexa Bliss later on.
Yeah.
Completely destroyed the credibility of the Universal Championship until Roman Reigns walked out with Paul Heyman a few months later. So you lost the credibility of your World Championship on your show and the credibility of your champion going into the fight. Yeah, you suck, Goldberg. You freaking suck.
But not as much as TJS.
Not right now.
TJS has disappeared, so yeah, he dropped his pipe bomb and took off. He might be done with no DQ.
Yeah, it's funny. He says what he says in the chat room, and then I ask, what the F, Tyler? And in the chat, he goes, it's a joke by the journalist. I said, not funny. He has since seen the reply, but has not responded. So it just proves to me how much of a chicken ass he is. So whatever. It's fine.
Wow. Man, this has gone deep tonight for a number of reasons.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, I hate to be a spoiler and ruin, make people upset or feel bad about themselves, but this thing with this dude is not funny to any of us, and he's just it's not haha, dude. Grow up.
All right, we got a couple left here. We got the worst storyline of the year, another doozy. All right, Let's see.
You
What?
actually got worst pay-per-view before that.
Oh, you're right. So yeah, we got to go back and do
Ah.
worst pay-per-view. Sorry about that. Thank you,
It's all right.
Noah. We're live, pal. See, I would screw up like this, and Jeff and I, when we were doing the videos in person, we would just start over, start a second take. But
Oh my
we're
God.
live.
42, what?
Yeah, we got to go with the flow here. Worst pay-per-view of the year. And, I mean, I don't think we need to spend much time. We've already talked about
I
a
mean, we
couple
can
of
say
these
it
shows.
on the count of 3 because I don't think it's going to be a disagreement. How about I count us down? 3, 2, 1, and
Super Showdown.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Very good.
Moving on.
So we're all saying Super Showdown.
Yes, we're saying
Yeah.
Super Showdown. Okay? The
All right,
show
well-
from Country Redacted.
Like, there was no show from any company worse than that one this year. None. Zero.
Yeah, period.
All right. Well,
And
I
it
will
had
read off.
fans.
I'll read off the nominees just so people know: Super Showdown, Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank, Backlash, Extreme Rules, the Horror Show, and AEW All Out.
There you go.
Oh, Adrian says with a €2 super chat, Jeff Meacham and TGS is a work.
Oh.
Oh man! All right.
Thank you for your support, Adrian.
I am so glad I'm on the West Coast and have time to work this out before I go to bed. The rest of y'all, yeah.
And by the way, Super Showdown won last year for worst pay-per-view of the year. So we'll see if the streak
No
continues.
shocker there.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Let's keep that streak going.
And 2 years ago, the other Saudi show, Crown Jewel, won. So there's a theme here.
There is.
Yeah. It comes down to Country Redacted.
The blood
Something
money.
special about
Stop
that.
blood money.
All right, worst storyline of the year. All right, we got some
Okay.
doozies here. We got the Rusev, Lana, Bobby Lashley love triangle.
Morgan.
We got the 24/7 title. We got Otis winning the Money in the Bank contract. We got Seth Rollins pulling out Rey Mysterio's eye. We got Retribution invading WWE. And we got Raw Underground. I'll start with this one. As bad as all these are, Retribution, awful, terrible, a disgrace, an embarrassment, worse storyline than Aces and Eights. Like,
What? Are you kidding me?
yes,
Whoa.
worse than Aces and Eights. Retribution, my pick.
Oh,
T-Bar can go to hell. Straight to hell.
damn.
And not
All
talking
right.
about Dominic Dijakovic. I'm talking about the character T-Bar can go to hell.
I know exactly what you're referring to. You're good.
All right. Noah Foster, go ahead.
I don't need to say anything. I agree with you 100%. Retribution. They could go straight to hell. I mean, literally, you have these random people that you have no idea what their motive is, what their leader is. They're only attacking Raw or SmackDown. Okay, is this an angle where you have like a dark faction in NXT trying to really take over Raw and SmackDown like they destroyed them last year at Survivor Series? Is Triple H to have all this? Is something interesting going to come out of this? No, you just learned that who these people are NXT talents being completely destroyed by these characters and the angle itself. And then all of a sudden, oh, they just get contracts and they're part of the Monday Night Raw roster. Give me a break, in the immortal words of Mean Gene Okerlund. Nothing tops that. Retribution.
All right. Jeff Meacham.
When Robbie and I had our debate, what was it, 2 weeks ago now, Aaron?
Yes.
Something like that, yeah.
He made a very good point that the idea of a match or a storyline or a gimmick or whatever is to get the participants over in the process of executing the plan.
Mhm.
Who the hell in that fraction is over more than they were going in? Nobody. Retribution is easily the worst thing to come down the pike in the last. You know, it's funny. I kind of reacted surprised when he said Aces and Eights, but you're not far off. It's been the worst faction presentation since Aces and Eights. That's a pretty simple comparison. Yeah,
That's saying something.
Oh,
it is.
Mr. Anderson says Retribution over Lana and Rusev storyline. What are you smoking? Well, I actually think the Miro video gamer storyline is worse than the Lana and Rusev storyline, and that was not nominated. So there's your answer
And
to
I
that.
agree on that. Miro should definitely be in contention towards the AEW World Championship, but right now we're stuck in this wedding angle thing, so it's kind of annoying me.
The point is, all of these are very easily in the running because none of them with the exception of the 24/7 championship existing, has done anything for anybody. And what are you talking about? Dude, R-Truth is a made man. He can do gimmick stuff the rest of his career. He's a goofball. I love Truth like this right now. The rest of these nominees, complete and utter waste of time. Otis winning the contract was a waste, and now Miz has it, thank God. But the rest of them are just so bad. Like there's no salvaging them. At least with Otis, we get the briefcase off him and put on somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jeff, Mike Nixon just sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Mike. He says, TJS is on my bad list now because he made good old JM mad.
There you go.
I appreciate the support, and we love $5. That's great. But yeah, it's just so, and Colin keeps saying that hashtag kids will be kids. Okay, that's fine.
Look, I say this: comedy is subjective, and no DQ is not, doing anything to subject women in wrestling as this John Alba guy is portraying. Okay, this is all just absolute nonsense.
Thank you for that, Noah.
I was trying hard not to say his name and give him the press, but yeah, it's just a bad situation, and it's just a horrible thing that's been blown out of proportion. It's not funny.
No, it's not.
All right, Big G.
Anyway.
Need I say anything? Retribution.
All right, then.
Simple as that. Period.
Simple as that.
I love it.
All right. So now we got 2 categories left. First, we have most overutilized of 2020. Last year, Seth Rollins won it, and he's up for the award again. Most overutilized, we have Natalya, Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Seth Rollins, the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes. Jeff Meacham, go ahead.
Well, I'm definitely not going to pick the Bucks or Cody because they're doing what any other promoter has done over the years. They're putting their money behind themselves. So that's not unheard of. Honestly, the most overutilized person that has done nothing but bring the people around them down, Nia Jax.
Thank you.
Nia Jax has completely taken the great Shayna Baszler, who we all were looking forward to being the one to beat Becky at WrestleMania. It didn't happen, and completely brought her down to a level of just almost useless, right? Charlotte has been gone half the year. Get over yourself, whoever nominated her. For Christ's sakes. Seth, yes, he's on TV a lot, but he's been integral part of storylines. Yes, it's been with Mysterio primarily, but he's still been I don't want to say a joy to watch, but he's definitely been at least entertaining enough where I don't want to get rid of him. I wanted to get rid of Nia Jax for years, and she just it's horrible. She's just horrible. Yeah. And again, the Bucks and Cody, the Bucks just now won the tag titles this last pay-per-view. They haven't been used a whole lot over the course of 2020 on Dynamite anyway. So I think that's kind of a BS nomination. And Cody, yes, Cody's been on TV every week except when he took his little hiatus after he lost to Brody. But Cody is the most valuable player in my opinion on AEW's roster. He's the guy. So I don't think he's overutilized in any way. Nia definitely is.
All right. Well, sorry, this is gonna upset you, Jeff, but I'm gonna pick Charlotte Flair because she did take time off, but when she was around, she was on all 3 shows, which was not necessary. She did not need to beat Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I very much disagree with that booking decision. So that's why I'm picking Charlotte Flair. And I think if she didn't have her issue she had to take care of, she would have probably still been on TV and being on every show. I just thought it was overkill. And, some people said Bayley and Sasha, which I could also argue for. They did not get on this list, but there was a point where I felt like they were being on TV too much. I'm trying to think who was just on TV way more than they needed to be.
Here's my thing though with Bayley, with Sasha, and with Charlotte also. At the time they were being utilized on all 3 shows or both shows or whatever, the division they were representing was in desperate need of a kickstart, especially with Bayley and Sasha. So I disagree with those nominations completely.
All right, fair enough. Noah Foster, what do you think?
I understand also where Jeff's coming from with Bayley and Sasha, because also they were the actual tag champs, so it actually made sense for them to be on the 3 brands. Yeah, you could say Charlotte Flair, she was the NXT champion, but she brought that title off 3 brands. It might have been over, but it wasn't like the whole year. Overutilization, I look at the whole year. And why Seth Rollins has been pretty much on every week. It wasn't like what he did brought somebody down. Why Shayna Baszler isn't challenging Asuka? You know why. And that's why I'm changing my earlier thought from Seth to Nia Jax.
All right, Big G.
I don't need to say anything. I'm going with Noah and Jeff. I mean, I've said it before, not, and even Jeff just said it. Nia is bringing Shayna down. Shayna was this badass in NXT, dominant. She came to the main roster and freaking bit Becky's neck. I mean, yeah. It was,
that was a weird
quote unquote fake, but I mean, who have you ever seen bite? I mean, I'm sure back in the day, but like up until recently, a woman biting somebody's neck. So, but yeah, Nia, I'm just going with Nia Jax.
AJ just wants Nia to be a big-time single star on Monday Night Raw.
Dominic.
She's not wrong.
Dominic in the chat, even though he makes his spelling's kind of off, but he makes a very good point. The reason that Nia Jax, in my opinion, has not been let go is some reason Tamina hasn't been let go is because they've got the familial connection to the great.
Yeah. I think you're right too.
You're right.
Last category, we have most underutilized. So the opposite of overutilized, obviously. We have Chad Gable, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Rusev / Miro, Cesaro, and Mustafa Ali. Now, Cesaro won it a lot. He won it last year. People always pick him. So, Big G, let's start with you on this one for the last category. Who is the most underutilized of the year?
Well, when I was doing the form, filling out the form, I put down Cesaro. The man has talent, unnatural talent, and you put him in this. They keep on putting him with tag teams. First, it was with Tyson Kidd, which was an awesome tag team. Then you put him with Sheamus the Bar, which is another great tag team, and they put him with another underutilized guy, I believe, Shinsuke Nakamura. And, they won the Smackdown Tag Team Champions against the New Day a couple months ago. I think Extreme Rules, the horror show, if I'm not mistaken, in a tables match.
You are correct.
And then they lost to the New Day again. And now you don't even see him on TV again. Nakamura was in the stupid Battle Royal a couple weeks ago at Survivor Series. And we haven't seen Cesaro since. And Cesaro has that potential to be that superstar. Will he one day win the WWE title or the Universal title? Who knows? But the man needs to be used more on TV, I think. So I'm going with Cesaro as my pick.
All right. Noah Foster.
Again, when you look at most underutilized, you look at the year, you look at if they were used in anything, you look at when the fallout happened. I mean, Cesaro, again, as you said, he definitely deserves more. I still keep thinking he's a world champion. Vince just doesn't have a clue how to do it or doesn't want to. I was like, hey, go back to NXT UK, take on Ilya Dragunov or take on Walter. That's right. Anyway, I like that a lot, but I also think about Chad Gable. Can you really say underutilized? He just came back, all right? Shorty G died recently, thank God. Ricochet, he had his moment, then got dropped off the radar, but thanks to the Hurt Business feuding, he's back up again, so I'm going to say he's all right. Despite the booking with Rusev, Miro, whatever the hell you want to call it, he's at least on TV on Dynamite. He's had a couple of matches. I hope they do more with him. Ali, okay, he's now the leader of this group that's going to go nowhere, but somehow they are on screen. For me, I feel like right now, after that fallout with Kevin Owens and everything that's happened recently, and I feel like he had so much potential, but just went down like that. For me, it's Aleister Black. You would think this guy would probably be involved in the world title. I would have wanted to see Aleister Black face Drew McIntyre because we all know after drafts, what does WWE do? Invitational, wild card, superstar shakeup. And it's not like Kevin Owens has to feud with Aleister Black anymore. He should be involved in the title picture. For me, it's Aleister Black. I can only hope things get better for him. Maybe he'll finally be free to go back to NXT. Triple H, save him.
All right, Jeff Meacham.
Are you allowed to award ties in this category, Aaron?
Well, I always break the ties if there are one, but you can pick two if you want.
Oh, I'm picking more than two, Bubba. So, okay, Gable, like Noah said, he just came back as Chad Gable. He's not Shorty G anymore. Thank God for that. Mustafa Ali, dude, he's the head of a stable that tanked on his ass. You can't get more utilized than that, and he's still fall on your face. That's not our fault. And I love Cesaro. I was there sitting next to Aaron when we first had this award be presented, and we both agreed if it's not Cesaro, who the hell is it? But that was 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When are we going to stop saying this guy has potential? When are we going to stop saying this guy can be the world champion?
When they
It's
actually
like
do it.
they're never going to pull the trigger on him. Vince refuses to see what we as independent / Ring of Honor / whatever fans have seen in this guy. So I don't think he's underutilized. I think Vince utilizes him exactly how he wants to. My three choices actually are Ricochet, because again, he got dealt a bad hand in Saudi Arabia, man. It's ruined everything for him. Aleister Black had that stupid eye thing, and then he had the nonsensical heel turn and just whatever, and we haven't seen him since. And of course, Miro, because he went from being utilized, not all utilized in WWE, to being made the fodder of freaking Kip Sabian and Penelope in AEW. It's like, oh, God almighty. Those three people are definitely, if they don't have a breakout 2021 or some sort of monumental moment 2021, they might as well turn in their bump card and go away.
Yeah.
I agree with what Noah said about Mustafa Ali and everybody else. And I am going with his pick of Aleister Black as well, because, yeah, Mustafa Ali, there was a period where he was not being utilized, but then he did get with Retribution, and granted, that's flopping pretty hard, but like Noah said, he's on TV. Miro, not a fan of what they're doing with him, but hey, he's on TV. He was on TV when he was doing the storyline with Lana. Aleister Black is doing nothing. They had so much potential with him, and he's not making any kind of a difference whatsoever, whether it's positive or negative. He's just doing nothing. So Aleister Black, my pick. And poor Ricochet, I just feel bad for the guy. They've really dropped the ball with him.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron, if you do me a favor and highlight Todrick Francis' comment about Aleister Black on the screen, if you haven't already.
Oh, what do you think?
Oh, remember when Aleister Black got help from Taker earlier this year?
He was involved minute amount, but with the Undertaker, and he still didn't get over. That's, how do you not? Oh God, darn it, Debbie. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways, on that note,
Yeah.
we'll wrap this up for the year-end awards discussion. Thank you all for tuning in, and if you sat through the almost 2 hours of this, we very much appreciate that. Let's go ahead and do our plugs. And remember, the voting will start, and it will last throughout the month of December. Make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com and the social media accounts for the latest polls as they go up. And of course, they'll all be up at some point, and you'll have till the end of December to vote over at NoDQ.com. So Noah, we'll start off with your plugs.
First off, apologies for my singing and my New Day and catchphrase impersonations, but this has been a blast, gentlemen, and good luck to all the nominees, and have fun with this No DQ. If people want to connect with me, I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of ... wrestling. So find me Instagram, Twitter, heck, PlayStation, and YouTube. And Foster 1916. I got Twitch. I'm gonna start working on that in December. And Foster 191625. And I encourage you to take part in the No DQ Guys Predictions League, where this week we look at War Games coming up this coming weekend. And good luck to you, Aaron, Caitlin, and Sung, because we're all in the top 4. Good luck to everybody in the team. As always, folks, support wrestling and support No DQ. Simple as that.
All right, Big G, go ahead.
Yes, NoDQ.com/BigBallerG takes you to my Twitter page. NoDQ_BigBallerG1988 on Instagram. Jeff Felt on Facebook. If you haven't checked out the latest or the finale of Wrestling Trivia Challenge, go out and check that out on all 3 pages. That is it for Big Baller G. Jeff, take it away.
JeffMeachamNetwork.com takes you to a link tree I got set up. It's got my YouTube page, my Anchor page. I think it's still active. My what do you call it? Merchandise, and it was there. Social medias. Thank you, Noah. Everything's there. So JeffMeachamNetwork.com will take you to everything you need to know for good old JM. There's Aaron showing me the Anchor. I appreciate that. Showing the Anchor page. So I appreciate that. Again, I don't know if they're making money off it still, but I'm there. But anyway. Thank you guys for putting up with me. I know we tried not to go 2 hours. That's my bad, and I'm sorry. So and for my colorful language, I do apologize to everybody that was offended by that earlier tonight. I'm sorry. Just really, this whole thing with this person on social media really just chaps my ass, and I'm sorry.
All right, and Robbie Weiss, the smartest man in the room when he's in the room, just sent in a $5 super chat, says,
Hey.
I need a debate opponent.
Anybody but me.
All right, then. Yes, Robbie Vice is open
I
to
want to see
debate.
Noah versus Robbie.
Oh my
What?
God.
What? Whoa,
I want to see a
what are you trying
Robbie
to do
versus
here?
Noah debate.
What are you trying to do here?
That's awesome.
Putting you on the spot, Noah.
The spot, brother.
uh,
Love you, Robbie. Oh, goodness.
Well,
I got no beef with Robbie, but I mean, I'll be happy to talk a conversation with anybody, but I would need to know what exactly to do.
yeah, well, he wants to duel with somebody who really loves AEW, who will defend it to the death. Are you up for that, Noah?
That guy. So.
I can try, I guess.
Hey, it's all good. If you gotta put in that effort, that's all you can do, you know?
All I can do is try my best in everything I try to achieve.
Why
Simple
not
as
get
that.
Virtue versus Robbie?
There
Aaron?
you go.
I think
That'd be
they
interesting.
want to have them go against each other, I think, before they go one-on-one, or go against other people before they go against each other, is what I was trying to say.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, they want to build that up as like a pay-per-view caliber.
WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, maybe
debate-
we'll have
the
Virtue
debate
versus
king.
Noah. Not Virtue versus Noah, but we'll have Virtue versus Robbie for WrestleMania weekend.
You'll destroy me.
There you go.
Anyways,
Yeah,
guys,
sounds
thank
like
you all for tuning in, like I said, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com. Make sure you guys vote in the 21st annual NoDQ.com year-end awards. Subscribe, tell a friend, spread the word, and turn on your notifications for updates. Anything you can do to help get more people watching would be very much appreciated. So tell your mother, tell your father, tell your grandmother, tell your son, your daughter, your uncle, your nephew, anybody who watches wrestling. Maybe even if they don't watch wrestling, they might get a kick out of this. Take care, everybody. Stay positive, and we will see you all next time.